Morning. It is 5 o'clock and I'm up this early because I'm going to the gym. There is nobody there the first hour, and with everything going on right now, it's nice to be able to work out in peace and not have to really worry about coming into contact with people. Today's video is going to be fun. We're going to be talking about the EOS RP and why it's the most professional camera you've probably never used. I got to use it over the weekend to shoot a wedding, and kind of on accident it became my A cam for the wedding, while the EOS R became my B cam. I do have some gripes with the RP. It's not a perfect camera, which I will explain later in the video, but for now, let's go to the gym, get a quick workout, and then come back and shoot the rest of this thing. So the best part about going to the gym early, aside from not having to deal with people, is I have a head start to the day. I'm able to go grocery shopping or go run errands or go get a cup of coffee. I'm probably going to do that because I love coffee. Let's go home. I'm going to make coffee and we're going to talk about the EOS RP. So let's go. I hope you guys liked that little B-roll sequence. I shot it entirely on the EOS RP and a light. I'm still playing around with the setup just because as you can probably tell, I'm shooting in my kitchen / living room. So I have a lot of ambient noise coming in from like my refrigerator and just people coming and going. So I do apologize as I am getting this setup dialed in. So we're talking EOS RP. I shot a wedding over the weekend using this camera along with my EOS R. And the RP actually ended up being my A camera for most of the wedding. But for the most part, the RP did phenomenal. I did not miss using my EOS R at any point, just because the autofocus and a lot of the video capabilities of this camera are very similar to the R, and I'll explain that a little bit later. So the point of this video is I'll be sharing my experience using this camera in a professional environment like a wedding, and if I had any issues with performance, any gripes, and overall if I recommend this camera over the EOS R. So let's just jump into it. The reason I felt confident using the RP over my trusty EOS R is due to the RP being an EOS R Lite. It has similar video capabilities, which are 24 frames at 1080p, 60 frames at 1080p. And really, those are the only two frame rates I use, just because the 4K is cropped and I just don't want to deal with the large file sizes. For stills, the autofocus is just as snappy as the EOS R, just less autofocus points to play with. The IAF has been much improved as well, but the EOS R still performs better in use. Now, as far as the differences go, the RP has a 24.4 megapixel sensor, while the EOS R has a 30.1 megapixel sensor. The RP has a smaller battery, no Canon log, card slot is in the battery compartment rather than on the side, and you have a dedicated dial for modes. Oh, and you get a mic jack and a headphone jack as well. Like I said, I shot the ceremony on the RP and also did some of the reception interviews as well. To my surprise, I still had roughly 50% battery after the end of the event. The video was shot using a neutral color profile and I just made some basic adjustments in post. However, I do wish I had the option for log, as my highlights were blown out in some portions of the video. One of the main gripes I have with the EOS RP is the lack of custom video settings. What I mean by that is that the C1, 2, and 3 modes on the dial can be utilized for custom photo settings only, which is a bummer because in a wedding environment, you have to be quick to adjust to the environment, otherwise you'll miss the shot. The lack of Canon log in this camera is also a gripe, as I could have saved some of the footage, but I really put the blame on myself for not packing an extra ND filter. Again, these gripes are based on my usage and you might have a different experience with this camera. I'll say this, if you shoot a lot of photo and video, get the EOS R. The bigger battery comes in clutch for extended use. The inclusion of Canon log also makes it a more compelling option for video shooters, as you'll have the expanded dynamic range to play with in post. On the still side, the better IAF will help you nail those portraits, and the 30 megapixel sensor is big enough for most printed work or if you plan to crop in post. But that's really it. The RP is $1,000 or $1,800 if you get it with the RF 24-105 lens. That's the price of the EOS R body only. While you do lose things like battery life and log on the RP, the camera still performs very similar to the EOS R, and I argued that the RP is the better option for most people. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and smash the smash button if you guys want to see more content. And yes, I am aware I said smash instead of subscribe, but that's just my thing, don't judge me. Also, let me know what you guys think about the new setup and environment. I'm still kind of dialing it in, kind of trying to figure out everyone's schedule so I can shoot accordingly and not get a lot of ambient noise, but it's a little hard because, you know, we're all kind of like stuck indoors right now with what's been going on. But other than that, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!